And then there's the lingering depression and anxiety associated with the pandemic. You may be feeling it as well. It's not your imagination. Anxiety is on the rise with so many people. Now, a U.S. task force is recommending that most adults get screened to check for mental health problems. NBC Barry's Marianne Favreau is in Mountain View with a closer look.
This is aimed at adults under age 65, and the screenings would likely happen when you visit your primary care doctor. All of this comes after some eyebrow-raising results of a new survey of households in America. Nearly 1 out of every 3 American adults reported having symptoms of anxiety or depression this summer. Now efforts are underway to make sure people get the help they need. For the first time ever, the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force is recommending screening for adults. And the idea is to check for signs of anxiety disorders. The chief director of mental health and addiction services at El Camino Health in Mountain View supports the move.
Increasing screening efforts in the U.S., I think, is a good thing. There are lots of people who may not even recognize that that's what they're suffering from, and asking the questions can bring that to light.
She says here in the Bay Area, the stress of COVID, feelings of isolation from working from home, and a sense of uncertainty have prompted more people to report mental health issues, a trend seen nationwide.
We have seen increased reports of distress, increased reports of stress, increased reports of individuals feeling overwhelmed. And the challenge then is what to do with that. By screening, it increases the possibility that individuals will get referred to appropriate resources.
Dr. Lynn Bufka with the American Psychological Association also supports the plan. The screenings, likely done by your primary care doctor, may include asking you to answer a handful of questions like these, including how often you feel nervous or on edge. The screening is not a diagnosis, but Dr. Bufka says it may go a long way towards spotting at-risk patients so they can get the help they need. Right now, these are draft recommendations open to public comment until October 17th. After that, the task force will issue its final guidance. In Mountain View, Marianne Favreau, NBC.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That is to say, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. The greatest depression. From what you can see in the clip that I played in the beginning, there's a lot of people, adults under the age of 65, with anxiety and uncertainty, since the 2020 thing that took place. And that's all by design. They leading this place into a world filled with depression so that they can have you on all types of drugs and have you in an altered state of mind, an altered state of thinking, so you don't have the most cognitive function at your arsenal, your mind, your brain to work so that they could give you whatever they want, And that's ultimately what they're trying to have the whole earth under, under altered state so that you can't think. So you will be willing to take whatever they give you. And right now they're giving you, different types of drugs. But the end game is they're going to give you, that mark in your right hand or on your forehead. Because people are going to be in an altered state and they're not going to be able to make the most out of it. They're going to be impaired. They're not going to be, sober. Like the scriptures tell us, be sober, be vigilant, And the devil knows this, He knows that in order for you to take what he has, he's going to have to alter your perception. He's going to have to redirect you, and he's going to give you little things that could seem that for the time being that they can, help with that anxiety or that depression, They got drugs and all types of stuff that they're allowing to, in these last days be passed, whether it's recreational weed whether it's, psychotropics or whether it's barbiturates. They got all types of drugs that can alter your mind, that have you under a different, perspective. So, that's why you have to be sober and be vigilant, because we understand that in these last days that the devil's going to pull everything he has, and if he can alter your perception and have you, under this title as being labeled mental health, and you could come in and get on these drugs that could take effect and that could walk you right into the mark, by all means necessary, he's going to do it, because he designed this system. He was allowed to design this system to have you under this hypnosis to cause you to be depressed. Whether it's the ideal marriage that you should have or the career that you should be partaking by a certain age, he applies his pressure to you through his norms of what he considered to be normal society, and a lot of people fold under that pressure, whether it's what he deems a broken marriage or not having a career or not, partaking in this by this age. These are thoughts that enter into one's subconscious and can cause them to be depressed and take his remedy, whether it's his drugs or whether it's going out, finding other ways to cope with this. This is this man's greatest depression, and you haven't seen anything yet. When it really hits, when it really hits the fan, a lot of people gonna be under that greatest depression, that anxiety. They ain't gonna know what to do, because they build up so much equity in this man's kingdom that it's just gonna make them break. It's gonna make them fold under that pressure, man, because they're gonna have a facade to keep up, man. They're gonna want that, that career that they've been, aiming for their whole life. That happy marriage, They're gonna want that expensive car. They're gonna want the things of this world. They ain't gonna know how to cope with it, because they've been built up so much through this man's, projection of what a normal society should look like, that anything else would deem them a failure. And a lot of people can't deal with the failure, and that's what caused them to go into that depressed state of mind. And he knows that, and that's what he's banking on, for majority of the people to be under that stupor, that Great Depression, and have to come to him and rely on him for his remedy. And we know what that remedy is going to be, pursuant to Revelation 13 to 16 verse. So this is 1 John 2 and 15, and it reads, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Now, is that telling you not to love your spouse or love your children? No, that's telling you in context that if you put those things above the Most High, then you're going to be susceptible to this man's remedy. You have to be willing to lose all that for the Most High's sake. It tells us in Luke, the 12th chapter, the 34th verse, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." If you put everything you have into this society, this kingdom, and you don't know how to walk away when that time comes, you're going to break and fold, man. And this is crucial. Either you're going to love this world and take everything that it has in it, or you not. So let's go on and read. "Love not the world, neither the things are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh," these fancy careers, these nice houses, these nice cars, and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Right. The Father don't have a problem with you having these things, you know, if you have them. But when you cherish them and put them above all else, then you setting yourself up for failure, for the greatest depression. You know, you have to be willing to walk away at any point in time. Not that you should walk away, but you have to be willing to. You know, and I'm talking about in these last days, this time that's coming, where this man's going to challenge your faith. You're going to be tried, like gold through the fire, and see who's acceptable and who's not. You see, and that's why this man wants this world under the greatest depression. That's why he's pumping out all these barbiturates, these psychotropics, all these different types of drugs, so you can be in a stupor, a state of sleep, so you won't know what's going on. You're gonna have to the rest, it's gonna look like you functioning, you operating under a healthy mind. But you know that you know deep down that you're functioning under an altered state of who you are. You see? And this is where this man wants this whole world at, in an altered state. So when he gets ready to roll out his, ultimate prize, there won't be no pushback. There'll be so many people under these different types of drugs, that they won't know what to do. They're gonna just willingly accept whatever he has has in store for him. So it says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. See, everything in this world is just transitory. It's just here momentarily. This isn't our kingdom. What you should be worried about, or what you should be meditating on, is the kingdom, man. That's where you get everything. On this side, there's nothing that you shouldn't be willing to walk away from, because we know everything that we working towards, we're going to get in the kingdom. That's why it says in Matthew, the 19th chapter, let's go there and read it. St. Matthew 19 and verse 29. And it reads, and everyone that has forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. See, this is the kingdom, man. You may have to give all this up on this side. Some of us going to have to give all of this up. Or some of us going to have to give some of these things up if we have them, to get into the kingdom, to be tried as that gold through fire, And this man knows that most people aren't willing to give all this up, or give some of this up, especially if they're in an altered state, through his drugs, whether illegal or legal, how he classifies them. He makes a class as if one is better than the other. You got your illegal drugs, and then you got your legal drugs, as if they both aren't, altering your state of cognizance. That's how this man plays the fence, man. He plays on both sides. So he can give you something illegal and criminal and crucify you, put you in the court, and then he can give you something legal and be justified of not, changing your perception. But you have to understand that this is all by design, man. This man wants to alter your perception alter your state of conscience. He wants to take you out. You know, he wants you to be in that altered state so he can make decisions for you. And he classified things as having mental issues. You know, you have a mental health issue, go and see your doctor. That's why when the clip first that I played in the beginning stated off that under 65, because by the time you're 65, he done took everything you had from you. And he's willing to give you a little bit of your life left, or really not, because there's no guarantee that after you turn 65, you're going to live a flourishing life for the remainder of however many years you got left. So there's no winning with this man. There's only the illusion of that you have a chance of winning, or that you can, live a successful remaining of your life after you turn 65. But there's no telling what you get with this man, except for heartache and disappointment. But you get solace in his word, That's why it tells us in the book of Matthew, the same book, the 11th chapter, and the 29th verse on this. And it reads, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls." See, you're going to get rest and you're going to get solace in this word right here, knowing that there's a better place for you after this kingdom runs its course, after this man is taken out of rulership, man. We don't have to worry about the wiles of this devil, and all his antics. The kingdom is going to be, you can't even imagine, man. It's going to be ran on such a scale that it's going to make this shit right here look, man. Yeah, it's going to make this shit that we going through right here look like child's play. Because everything you seeing right now and witnessing, man, it's all a stage, man. It's produced by this man, this wicked Edomite, man. He has these people under this altered state, and he uses his drugs to keep him under that state, and he orchestrates, different scenarios where people fold under that pressure and they have to rely on whatever remedy he has for them. And once Jacob's trouble is here, man, he's banking on that people gonna be running left to right for whatever remedy he has. Whether it's the drugs that he gives to you, legally, illegally, or whether it's you trying to stay afloat and doing things you shouldn't do and getting you, jammed up. This man has a remedy for everything you can think of. The only thing he doesn't have a remedy for is this truth right here. And that's what you got to rely on, man. This is the only thing that's going to keep you sane in these days, man, is this truth. Because without this truth, you can easily fall into his snares, his gins, and be just like how he wants you, a puppet, pulling your strings, you see? So that's why we got to stay in this truth and endure to the end, man, because there's much more at stake than what this man is telling us, man. He's feeding you the lie as a truth. He's telling you that things going to get better. That's the lie. But he's telling you as a truth. He's telling you as the truth that things are going to get better, but that's the lie. Things aren't going to get better. They're just going to get worse, man, as we progressively move on to this man being dethroned. It tells you Esau is the end of this world and Jacob is the beginning of the one to come. This man, this time is up. This is it for him. He's got to put you under altered state of mind. You know, so that's why you have to be sober and be vigilant, because he's not holding back on anything. The greatest depression. You know, that's what we getting ready to come into, the greatest depression. You're gonna see a lot of things that you can't otherwise explain for, but through this word, you'll know exactly what's going on. That's why you got to take heed and stay in this truth, man, because you got prophecies that's going to be fulfilled. And one of those prophecies is the famine of the word. And once that takes place, you ain't going to know, if you don't know exactly what to do. You know, for those of the people who just going on about their life, like, you know, nothing ever changed, they going to be up a creek without a paddle, man. That's going to be it for them. But you got to pray you be counted worthy and that you endure to the end so that you can see the kingdom, if it be the Most High will. So let's go ahead and close out and take it from there. This is 1 Peter chapter 5, and let's go down to verse 8, because this is what we need to worry about. This is what the whole topic of the lesson was. Be sober. Because this man wants you in an altered state. So 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And if he can get you in an altered state, you know, put you under these different types of drugs caused by the depression that he's manufactured, then he's going to do that by all means necessary. He's going to manufacture as much depression as he can to get you deemed mentally unstable. That seems to be the new title. You have a mental health issue. Go see your doctor. Take this medicine. Take this drug. Go get reevaluated. Take this medicine. Take this drug. Soon as you get somewhat showing some sign of, you know, resemblance of showing some sign of, you know, getting your whereabouts, your wherewithal, then he orchestrates something else that'll make you go, you know, fold and crack and have to go back and talk to the doctor again. His doctors, his psychologists, and they'll prescribe you another, you know, barbiturate or whatever type of drug they give to put you in a altered state of mind. You know, he gonna walk this whole method until he brings out his ultimate, you know, altered state of mind medicine, which is gonna be in your right hand or in your forehead. And then when he administer that, that's gonna be it for you. You're gonna be his. There's nothing else you can do from that. There's no coming back from that. You just have to wait and come back on the other side if that's your lot. You know? So we're gonna close out, and with that being said, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.